Hi, everybody. Yeah, this is Tim. This is this this is your opportunity to talk about the 15-day challenge. Ask your questions. I'm gonna tell a little story here, and and we'll see where it goes. I can't tell when anybody's here. I don't know if anybody's here or not. How do I know? How do I know if anyone's here? Oh, anyway, it doesn't matter. Swipe for what? What is that? The hell would that mean? What does that mean? Oh yeah, okay. All right, so this week I had a really interesting call from a woman who was wondering what the 15-day challenge could do for her. Her business is actually quilting. Quilting. Now, I don't know a whole lot about quilting, but I do understand that a bunch of people get together. Typically, they can do it by themselves, but they bring in patches, they sew the patches together, they make a quilt. Great stuff. This woman runs quilting bees out of her home every other month. And she gets 10 ladies, mostly ladies, together, and they pay her to show her how to make quilts. So, she had originally reached out to find out how to create an online business, and then she decided that there wasn't anything an online business could do for her. Specifically, she was challenging that the 15-day business challenge or the 15-day challenge had nothing for her. So I convinced her to join me on a call, and so we had a short call, a short Zoom call, and we talked a little bit about her business and what her goals were. Her primary goal, like most people, was to simply generate some extra income, but really long-term income, not just, do you want fries with that income where you take a second job at McDonald's, but actual long-term secondary income that could help her in retirement. Although she was quite a ways from retirement, she was starting to think about it. Now, an online business is a great way to supplement your income at any age, whether you are 21 and just trying to figure out life, or you're approaching retirement and living a little bit of financial trouble. Anywhere in the middle. So anyway, this woman, she was a real powerhouse in quilting. She's been quilting her whole life. She's in her mid-50s. She learned from her mother, who learned from her grandmother. So it's a huge tradition in her family. So she said there was nothing the online business builder challenge could do for her. I said, let's talk about it a little bit. So when I said, well, where do you generate your money today? She said, well, it's all in my home. People come from 10 or 20 miles away every other month, and we quilt for 2 hours, and they pay me. So that's great. Why don't we start by running Facebook ads for your geographic area? We can run a Facebook ad within 15 or 20 miles of your home that's targeted at people who are interested in quilting or related crafts. Now, those people we can send to an opt-in page. Now, on the opt-in page, they give you their email in exchange for something. In this case, why don't we create a little PDF that is 5 tricks or secrets to brilliant quilts, or some such thing like that. Now, she thought about that for a minute and said, well, what would I do with all those people who responded? Said they can't all come. I said, well, they don't have to come. Again, you're going to give them that free PDF. They're going to give you their email address. And then you can email them with your schedule when you're going to run quilting bees, as well as additional quilting related products. Now, if we go on to some of the affiliate marketplaces, I bet we can find a half a dozen products that are related to quilting or quilt-like crafts. So remember, I don't know anything about quilting. This is just taking her passion and turning it into a business. So it really has nothing to do with quilting, but it's the process. And the 15-day challenge teaches you that process. And it teaches you that process which can be applied in any business. So to continue with the quilting lesson here, what else can she do? Well, she does these 2-hour sessions every other month. Why every other month? Because it takes that long to get 10 people signed up. So I asked her how often she would do them if she had 100 people waiting. And she said, well, I do it every week. So sure enough, by gathering more people within her geographic region and using something like Calendly, which is a scheduling program, that will allow people to jump in, right? People to come in and send when they want to do this quilting bee. She could potentially set up more of these and make some short-term money. That's short-term money. That's not long-term income. However, each of these 2-hour sessions is effectively a master class in quilting. So if she was to theme them so that each class was a little bit different, then she would have a series of 2-hour quilting lessons she could sell as assets. Now, these digital assets, recorded once, can be sold over and over again forever. Now you're not tied to a geographic region. You can market these assets worldwide. You can continue to add to a mailing list. Now you're looking at a broader mailing list, but you can add as a mailing list all of the people interested in these things and the additional affiliate products that we found that are targeted towards crafters, or in this case, specifically quilters. After a 30-minute conversation, she immediately signed up. She immediately signed up for the 15-day challenge. I agreed to help her, as I have helped others, to help kind of put her business process together. How is she going to take this past, just her simple home business? And truly, we believe that she can create lifelong income from her passion, this passion she has for quilting. I'm sure many of you on this have heard, take your passion, turn it into a job, and you'll never work again a day in your life. Well, that's very true. Most people, however, have no clue how to actually turn their passion into a business. And those who do generally turn their passion into a business by the hour. Now, if you think about that for a minute, there's 8 to 10 work hours in a day, 7 days a week if you want to kill yourself. What's the hourly rate that you can charge somebody, and how much could that be? Well, guess what? It's not a lot. If you want life-changing income, you're not going to get it by charging by the hour, one person at a time. Think about that. Even if you earn $500 an hour, can you fill every day? 5, 6, 7 days a week? No, you can't. So how do you get to life-changing income? Well, today, some of the methods you can use for that would include digital assets. The internet is enormous. Millions of new people coming in every day. If you can come up with training that you've created one time that you can then sell hundreds or thousands or tens of thousands of times, that takes that hour or 2 hours that you worked, where you could only charge one person, to then charge 1,000 people or 10,000 people or 100,000 people. Now, you don't have to charge them an outrageous amount of money, because now we're talking about volume. So that digital asset, that course that you created, becomes an asset, a true asset. An asset makes you money even when you're not there. Something to think about. Your car is not an asset, right? Your house is not an asset. These are liabilities. These don't earn you money. They cost you money. They tie up your money. A course that you've created, a digital asset, can make you money while you're on a golf course. long-term passive income. Now, you need a system in place to be able to market that effectively, and that's where the 15-day challenge comes in. There's no magic. It's not a get-rich-quick formula. It's a step-by-step proven process that allows you to build an online business out of your passion. Do you know what your passion is? Do you have a dream today? Many people don't. I ask this question of everybody who contacts me about starting an online business. I ask them what they want to do with that business. The universal answer is, I want to make a little money. Really? That's it? Because there's lots of ways to make money. In fact, I'll be posting a video later today on how to make money with your phone just by playing a game. Is that fulfilling? Is that the little bit of extra money you want to earn? Because there's all kinds of ways to do that today, and none of them are particularly exciting. But yeah, they're side hustles, and you can find them all over the internet. But that's not what I asked. I asked, what's your passion? Why do you want to start an online business? I had to answer that same question. And I answered the same way most other people do. I need supplemental income. I'm approaching retirement. I don't have enough money to retire. I've worked for 40 years. The system has screwed me. So I need some extra money. But you know what? That's not it. That's really not it. Yeah, I don't want to go ask, do you want fries with that, or welcome to Walmart. That's not in the plan. But what I really enjoy doing, and in fact, what I have done my whole life, is help other people. And I don't mean get a rake and walk down the street and help somebody rake their leaves. What I mean is help other people find their passion and apply it in such a way that they can not work for the rest of their lives. Let's go back to that first quote. If you find a way to take your passion and turn it into income, turn it into a job, you never work again a day in your life. Now, this woman who'd reached out to me earlier this week, the quilter, she's so excited now about taking her passion for quilting and turning it into lifelong income. She will be wildly successful. I can't wait. It's going to be fun working with her to do this. Again, the reason this works is the infrastructure behind the 15-day challenge. This is what's going to absolutely pull her up to the next level where she can not work her full-time job. She can make her passion her job and truly generate lifelong income. Those of you who are in the chat, I can't read it very well. It's a little bit far away. I'm a little bit old. It's a little bit small. But go ahead, post your passion. What is your passion? Do you have one? You know, is there something you want to know about how to take your passion and turn it into lifelong income? Maybe, maybe not. So, I've had some really interesting conversations this week with people who are trying to do just that. The quilter was just one of them. I talked to a surgeon. And that's a little daunting, quite frankly. You think about a surgeon, you think about somebody who's got a great job, makes a lot of money. Yeah, you went to school, spent a lot of money on school, took a long time to get through kind of the internship portion. We all know a little bit about that without knowing great detail. But I was quite surprised that the surgeon reached out to me to figure out how to add extra income because he's in financial trouble. He's a couple years older than I am. He can't afford to retire. He's a surgeon. If a surgeon can't afford to retire in his mid-60s, how does a garage mechanic? How does anybody? I mean, that was frightening, quite frankly. So I asked him why he went into surgery. And, he says, well, it was a great career. My dad was a doctor. He asked me if I'd like to be a doctor, and he insisted. And So medicine was always in my future. And then I went into the military where I was actually trained as a field surgeon. And I loved it. I loved being able to help people who were injured with my skills as a surgeon. And so I've taken those skills further into life and applied them in my career. That's wonderful. That's outstanding. You can't ask for a better passion than that. Now, how do you turn that passion at age 67 into enough income so that you can retire? It's not by performing more surgeries. It's not by working more hours. He's got a passion, he has a talent, he has a skill, he has a life full of experiences that he can share at all levels in the medical field. One-on-many training is a very cost-effective way. Now, I'm not talking about teaching somebody how to perform an appendectomy over the internet, but there's so much related to the art and science of medicine that somebody with his type of experience, 40 plus years as a surgeon, can impart these things quite easily. Again, you could write a book. I've got 9 that I've published. My book income isn't going to make it so that I can retire. Until you have 30 or 40 books, not going to happen. Unless you're one of the 1 in a million that actually becomes a bestseller. Not happening to me either. But you don't have to write books in order to publish profitable topics in your field of interest. Let's take the surgeon as an example. First of all, what is surgery? Well, it's part of the health and fitness field. It's a very specific part of the health industry, but how do you prevent or avoid typical surgeries? What do you have to do in your life to stay away from needing to go under the knife? He knows. He knows it very well. I don't know. I can't even guess. But it's not outrageously out of the question for him to create some short PDFs with health tips. Now, if you look at the affiliate market, the number one affiliate marketplace, and I've said this on another video, is actually fashion. It's crazy to me because, this is my fashion. This is about as fashionable as I get. But I understand it, and I understand why it is. And certainly there are lots and lots of people who are fashion crazy. So I'm never going to go into that as an affiliate area, neither is the surgeon. But the number 2 area is health and fitness. And health and fitness, of course, includes dietary supplements. It's a big one. What dietary supplements prevent you from having surgery? Well, let's talk about cardiac surgery, heart health. How do you avoid having heart problems? Well, diet and exercise, we've all heard that. But there's also lots of supplements that will help cardiac patients or near cardiac patients from avoiding going under the knife. Again, these are all related to his specialty. He can take his expertise, create online courses, create specific health guides, offer advice on various supplements, things he can sell through affiliate marketing. So he has the option with his skill set for affiliate products, for online courses. He can develop course material, for coaching. And in fact, with his experience as a surgeon, why not coach other surgeons? He certainly knows more than 80% of them with his 45 plus years as a surgeon, including being a field surgeon. He can touch basically all of the pieces. One-on-many, the webinar. How popular are webinars? I'm going to be starting to do webinars here probably within another month. We'll do them once a month for anybody who has entered the 15-day challenge, who wants to work on their business processes with me. Why would I do that? Not going to pay me anymore. It's because, as I said a little earlier, I have been helping people their whole lives. It's been my career. It's been in manufacturing. I've been helping people run more efficient, more effective factories, but it's all the same. As an IT professional, helping people solve their IT problems was a huge part of my career. As a manufacturing specialist in information technology, making a factory run better was what I did. Helping people in the factory, helping the company run a more efficient, more effective factory is really no different than helping people create an effective online business utilizing the 15-day challenge training. So, my passion, helping people get there, is how I am going to really live the rest of my life. Those of you who are interested in starting an online business, please follow the link, take a look at it, send me a question. Tell me your passion. Seriously, tell me your dreams. Your dream is not to make money. Nobody's dream is to make money. Think about it. Mine's not. Yeah, I want to retire. I'm 64. I would like to retire, but it's not to have more money. It's to spend quality time with my adult children who have missed a lot of my life because I've been working myself to death. To spend quality time with my grandchild, my first grandchild, coming next month. Yeah, thrilled for that. I can't spend that kind of time today because of the hours that I work just to keep my bills being paid. So how can I possibly retire and spend that kind of quality time with family? So do I have a need for money? Sure, we all do. I need to erase 40 years of bad spending habits and all that debt that I have built up so that I can spend quality time with my family. I want to help you do the same. What is your passion? What are your dreams? What is your vision for your future? That's why I'm going to start doing webinars. And they're going to be free. You'll be able to schedule that. Anybody on my mailing list will get notified. You'll be able to schedule time. We'll do some one-on-ones, just like I did this week with the quilter, as well as another guy, which I'll talk about next week. And then, of course, we'll do the groups. The group seminars or group webinars are great ways to get lots of questions answered. Questions that you have but don't know how to ask are often asked by somebody else. So for anybody who's participating in the 15-day challenge, you'll get notified of a free webinar, which will be however many of you show up. If it's just one of you, guess what? You're going to get me for 30 minutes one-on-one. You know, if there's 30 of you, maybe we'll extend it to 2 hours. We'll see. We'll answer all the questions. We'll guide you, down your path. That's why I'm here. I am here to help you succeed. As I said in one of my earlier videos, we will succeed together. We will fail alone. And I truly mean that. My passion is to help you. And while I am doing that, it does not feel like work. So, thanks for coming. This was my first live. I am not an expert in TikTok in any way, shape, or form. I hope this actually worked. And I will see you again next week. Take care. And I don't know how to stop it. Yeah, I'm an idiot. I probably should have figured out how to end this before I started it. Is there an end button somewhere? Maybe it's right there.